I was in the mood for hamburgers, so I decided to make these Oklahoma fried onion burgers. They're really yummy. We made homemade burger. Let's make them right now. So we're going to start off with an onion, one onion. That's going to be enough for 2 burgers. So we're going to cut both ends off. Peel it. Slice her down the middle. And now the trick here is you want to carefully slice it into small slices, as small as you can get it. So I'm trying to be very careful with the knife, and hopefully you can see how thin they are. And there you go. That is ingredient number 1. Let's get it in a bowl, and we'll put it aside till we need it. There. Next up, into a small bowl, we're going to make our sauce for the top of our burger. That is a 1/4 cup of mayo and an 1/8 of a cup of ketchup, a couple tablespoons, teaspoon, half a teaspoon of mustard. You don't want too much. Garlic powder, half a teaspoon. And this is about half a teaspoon, maybe a little less of cayenne pepper. A little bit of salt. Little bit of pepper. And then we're just going to mix it all up, and that is it. Give it a try. Yeah, that's going to work. We're going to put that aside, put it in the fridge till we need it. Now our most important ingredient, our meat. That is 1.5 pounds of chuck roast, or from where I'm from, it's a blade roast. Now, we're not going to use all of it. I'm going to use half of it. The other half, I got another recipe for it. So we're going to take a sharp knife, and we're going to cut this into pieces. Okay, oops, maybe I should take the string off it. So we'll carefully do that. I don't really need that kind of roughage. And then we'll chop all this up into decent sized stewing beef parts. Now, I've never done this before, so this is kind of a first timer for me. Pretty sure it's going to work. There. So there's our meat in a nice stewing beef sized chunks. Let's get the cutting board out of the way, and now we're going to bring in my scale. Because what I'm going to do is take all of our meat, and I'm going to divvy it in half. Half for our burgers, which I hope is around, well, should be around 12 ounces-ish. So that'll give us a good 6-ounce burger for the 2 that I'm making. And that's what we got. Doesn't look like a whole lot, but let's grind it up and see what happens. So I'm going to toast my buns ahead of time, because this is all going to come together fairly quick. There, so there's the first one, and I will, maybe I'll let it toast you up a little more. We'll get it done. Both of them are on the plate. They should look something like that when you're done. Here's our food processor. I don't actually have a meat grinder, so this should do. And let's get all that meat into our food processor. And away we go. Of course, I got to figure out how to turn it on, and there we are, plugged in and ready to go. And it's not really going to take too long to grind all this up. We'll give it another spin just to be on the safe side. I think we got it. Let's check it out. Get the food processor out of the way. Oh yeah. Yeah, this worked out really well. Get a spatula to get the burger off the blade. And the same thing with the stuff that's in our food processor. Now it does grind up a little different than the stuff you get in the store, mostly because I don't have that attachment to use. I'm pretty sure this is still going to work out quite nicely. Okay, so now if I've done this right and divvy the burgers in two, we should have us two really nice hamburgers. Looks pretty close to even. Yeah, I think we've got it. So we'll do our frying pan, a little bit of butter. It's about 2 tablespoons. Now we're going to tackle our onions. I've seen this trick before. You put just a touch of oil in it, the butter, and it doesn't burn. So in go our onions. Now I had the heat on medium. I probably should have had it a little higher. Probably medium high. So the first part is you're going to stir all the butter and get all the onions coated in the butter. Number 2, you're going to divvy it up into the 2 burgers we're going to make. 2 different piles. Ever so carefully. That looks pretty close. Come on. There. Okay. So now this has got to cook for about 8 minutes. So you take your burger and you kind of smush it into the onion so it sticks. However, I think it might have been easier just to mush the burger before you put it on the onions, because see how they all spread out? Yeah, I didn't like that. So next time, yeah, I'm going to try that. So I put some on top, figuring, okay, well that's fine. Now I got to let them cook for 8 minutes, because you want the onions to get kind of crusty. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. To your liking, of course. I could have done that as I was grinding it up too. Anyhow, I got a little too impatient. So as you can see, they're cooked, but they're not crispy. I think if I would have let them sit another 3-4 minutes, we would have got what we needed. So don't do these when you're really, really hungry, because you're going to be impatient. You got to let this do its thing. Still worked out for a first timer. It looks horrible, but there are a lot of onions in there. And I flipped it over one more time because, hey, why not? I was hoping it would do its thing. It wouldn't, just because I started playing with it ahead of time. So just don't. Let that be a lesson. Just don't. Now, does it work out? Yeah, I think it works out pretty good. I've never actually had an Oklahoma burger. Never been to Oklahoma, but one day I intend to try it. So we let the other side cook for 5 or 6 minutes too. And I also didn't want the burgers to get overcooked because I hate them that way. Didn't happen. So our sauce. We're just putting a good couple knifelfuls on the top bun. And now we put our cheese. 2 cheese slices on both. Why? Because I wanted 2 cheese slices. And we're going to let them melt just for a minute or two. If you've got a cover, throw the cover on. And they're melted enough now. Let's get them off the heat and onto our buns. Not sure why it mattered which one I was putting it on. One, two. And I guess if I really wanted to scrape up the little bit of onions left, I could have thrown them on top. And look, there's our burgers. You just got to put the lids on. And we are good to go. Yeah, so there you go. There's my first attempt at an Oklahoma fried onion burger. Now I got to try it. I got to try a bite. and it is so good. Oh my word. I don't know if it's because I ground my own ground beef. You're not going to get any better than that, but there you have it. You got to try this Oklahoma fried onion burger. Hey, another great recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. Leave me a comment below, one way or the other. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, because that'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Feel free to share this and any of my other videos. And thanks for stopping by and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.